Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. Okay, so what can we talk about? Should we talk about first? Let's talk about our backgrounds.
Okay.
Okay. It's long. I'm a painter. I'm an oil painter primarily now, and I've been painting for about like 21 years. I've always painted like portraits and figurative pieces and things like that. And
that wasn't very well. Stretch.
Oh, I can talk for a while.
That wasn't a fun
guys don't want to. You'd be like, okay.
I'm a photographer. I take pictures of everything and anything. This set was something me and Mel talked about because I knew her work, so that inspired me to shoot this set like this. Some of these are friends, some of these are clients.
I actually met Ralph a really long time ago. I think I met you at the Art Walk or something a really long time ago. And I've always known his work. And when I started a painting, this painting over here next to him. I started that painting like maybe 2016 or something, with the idea that I didn't realize was going to bloom into this. The painting way over there to the right, that one there is the first one I created once I like wanted to do this series. And then I kept on seeing Ralph's amazing work on his Instagram and stuff, and I was like, we need to make this like a project for both of us together. Because in my opinion, Ralph's work is like extremely dynamic, and the way he photographs the human figure is just like, those are the things I want to paint. So that was like, I don't know. So this has been like basically over a year in the making.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And hundreds of photos we went through to try to choose these photos. That was the hardest part, was going through what we wanted to actually work on. Actually, Mel sent me, since she knew she wanted to do celestial symbiosis, she sent me a bunch of NASA images because they were, what do you call it, copyright free, they were allowed to use them. And I projected them on a bunch of subjects. So we started going in a different direction. And then just through trial and error, I think decided that that wasn't the way to go. And we just went with the plain, clean skin because it was simple and it was more artistic. And then Mel took it to like a whole other place with her art. She changed everything. You know, it was this picture here where she's on the box. That was really like, Mel just really twisted it and made it something so different and beautiful that was almost inspiration for everything else. We knew that we could, and I was surprised by some of the ways. So I just focused on my form and didn't really worry about the celestial stuff. And Mel, that was all Mel. Mel took that and added that and made the space and the fire and the earth. And really ran with it and made it amazing. So I was more focused on the form.
That piece over there was the first one where I was like, Ralph, like, this is, like, I didn't know, like, I need more, like, at first I was like, I'm gonna paint this. And then he was just like, you can use whatever you want to use. And I was like, I feel like it's unfair to do that. And I felt like it would be awesome to showcase his amazing photography along with the paintings. That way, it's not just like, because sometimes, like, it's just really nice to, I feel like one of the most interesting conversations to have with people is they always want to see the process. They always want to know where it came from and like how it developed and all these things. And but that piece was like the first one. I was like, man, like, Ralph, like, whoa. And it's just like the shadows and the placement of the form, and it's just amazing.
This is the first time I've put photos up like this in a show, so I had to be cautious. They'll kind of coerce me.
I was like, Ralph, you're
She
gonna
read
be
him.
really good at this. No, I'm just kidding.
And also, not
That's
everything
good.
that Mel used for inspiration, I printed, because, like, this one, for example, the art didn't overshadow the openness of the photograph. Like, Mel's painting is epic, but my photograph is just not that. The symbolism was there, but the art wasn't there in the photograph, so it was just too open just to print. Just, two naked chicks holding a glove. So.
But still, because he messaged me. He's like, listen, I had a photo shoot today, and I got another one lined up. He's like, but I have some things that I'm going to send you that are like,
But we shot
that you're going to need, that you're going to love. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And then he started sending me these, and I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I feel like one of the coolest things about the pieces in the show is that all the models, like, for the most part, maybe there's two or three I haven't actually met, but like one of them is a very good friend of mine. Other ones I've been able to like meet and talk to and become friends with, and I feel like getting to know who they are in a way made it a lot easier for me to like to take it to like a, I don't know. I feel like the beauty in those people, it was easy to project that in the paintings because I got to meet them. And I got to like, like one of my friends, I've known her for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or something. And I just was like, would you mind, would you like to model? And she was like, I'm kind of shy. And I was like, but okay. But then she did it. And then she went back and did more. And I was just like, and then all of the photographs that were coming in were just so amazing. Like I didn't have time to paint all the stuff that I wanted to paint.
Yeah,
So,
there's so many good ones.
yeah, so
Especially
I have a feeling that we might carry on and still put stuff together anyways. But when it comes to the process, I'm gonna show you guys some like basically from where he started off and then where I started dabbling with like Photoshop and getting some ideas together, and then creating that idea, and then the painting. That way, you guys can kind of see like the process, the journey of each piece, basically. But you're basically like. So, do you want to talk about your process or anything, or how you?
Well, my process starts with the model, or the subject, or the client, or the friend. Something that there's an incredible amount of trust in these photographs, and that's what this is about. This is about a relationship I have with people, where they allow me to be creative in a way that is past lines and past like boundaries that most people would have. I think I create an environment where people feel very comfortable. And a lot of these started out as like inspiration that somebody would send me, like sort of like a Pinterest list of something they liked or something I saw maybe. For example, the box. That's every country, every town has a photographer shooting nudes on a box. So that's a very simple thing, and what you do with it is how you. And I like to cover people's shadows. It's all about shadow and light. It's about what you want to light and what you want to shadow. So what a subject will be doing in my studio will just be relaxing, just be a lump, and I will run around like a madman, and I will adjust this light just a little bit, adjust this light just a little bit and pull it back and bring this one forward and try to flatter everything. Just the rule is it has to look good and it shouldn't be too open. So I try to almost bathe people in light while covering them with shadow at the same time. And you'll see that's a big part of it. And I could never do this without amazing subjects. That's the first thing. Just beautiful souls that allow me to create whatever I want to do. Oh, I forgot about all that. Yeah, these are all just amazing shoots where somebody just completely trusted me, or somebody brought me an idea. For instance, the girl with the hat. I had been dreaming of that shot for like a year. I wanted that like farmer's hat, like Japanese farmer's hat. And I was actually flipping through Facebook, and I saw somebody had a picture like that up, but it was by like it wasn't beautiful. It was just that you could see that somebody had attempted it, and I reached out to that person, and that person was like so excited that I reached out to them, and they're like, absolutely. So she brought that hat, and we were able to recreate that. My wife is in this. Of course, millions of photos of my wife. The belly dancer, that's the first one that stole. That's a really amazing shoot. I remember that shoot. That was like a 12-hour shoot where the girl was here all day long, and we shot thousands of photos. She brought every little tiny detail, and she's just an amazing soul. And some are just clients, some are friends. My friend Lauren, we did a lot of creative stuff. She's actually covered in glitter. That picture with the blue on it. She brought a makeup artist from Tampa that painted her from head to toe in glitter. There's still glitter in my studio. There's a difference between really fine glitter and really thick glitter. This was the really fine glitter. I don't allow that anymore in the studio. It's still in there. It was in my refrigerator. I don't know how it got in my refrigerator. It was on my cat. It was in the bed. It was everywhere. The kids were covered in it. And that's my process. I'm always looking for props. I'm always looking for interesting subjects. And I think I'm definitely getting better as I go. I feel. Oh, the one in the back, and also over here. I feel like that looks very religious. That's why I named it religion. Because we were shooting something and we didn't really know where it was going to go, and we were trying to do something else. And when she tilted her head back, I felt like the ribs were like. It just reminded me of a picture that I've seen before. And that's my process.
Yeah. Oh, Mel's process. So for me, it always starts with me generally getting inspired by something or seeing something. That's why like these photographs by him are just like, because my favorite things are dynamic lights against darks, or extremes like kind of like butting up against each other. And I feel like those things generally make a really good composition and a strong piece. And so all of his pieces here, that's the one thing I really love is like there's always like these awesome shadows. Like over here at this one, there's her hair is there, but then like there's shadows of her hair going across her back. And I like just seeing that, I was just like, and that was like the last minute decision with that painting. I was like, I'm gonna paint that. And I don't know how, but I painted it.
Say that a lot.
I paint. I'm like, I'm gonna paint that. I'm always doing that, and then eventually I do paint things. If I say it like a year ago. And generally, like once I find, like once the subject matter is there, I like to. it depends. Like some things I like to make just clean. You know, like back in the day, I used to always just paint like black and white nudes, very like lots of shadows and also lots of lights. And with these pieces, I've always like, even in the past, like for a really long time, I've always worked with Photoshop. Just because sometimes just playing around, you get to see things that you didn't realize like could happen in that photo. And I'll show you guys a little bit. Like, so with these pieces, like, you know, he would send me the photograph, and then I would just fiddle, like, literally, like, one of my favorite parts of the process is playing around with Photoshop to see the possibilities, to see, like, what it could be or what it could, like, lead to. And with this show, it's such a special show to me, like, just everything behind it, the whole thing, that I wanted every single piece to be a very strong message about something spiritual that I feel or whatever. So I was always thinking about that when I was, you know, working with Photoshop and like working with that process. And then once I had an idea and I pretty much had it in stone, I would go ahead and sketch everything up and just start painting. Granted, like generally when I create an idea on Photoshop, it always changes. It never stays the same. Once in a while, like the one with the black and white cloud on the bottom over here, that's the one that after I created the idea, that's the one that stayed the same, which was really interesting. There's something about that I like when I was painting and I was like, I just want it to be just the way it is because I love it. So my process has a lot to, like the creative process is kind of long when it comes to like just putting the ideas together on Photoshop because like a lot of people like they don't like working with Photoshop and that's cool, but I feel like it can open your mind up a little bit. And sometimes I'll just play around with like the saturation of a photograph or I'll mess around with the levels and the lights and darks, and then sometimes I'll just make it all black and white, and then I'll add in like colors out of nowhere. And I think that playing around with things like that can really help. I don't know, because I don't really I don't like paint things out of my imagination a lot. Like there's things in there, but I don't paint those things. But I like to see it, and I like to have a reference. I've always been like that. And for one, I like to have a reference because I want to make sure it's right. You know, like I don't want like a rib to be in the wrong place, or I know people who've been like, I don't like they don't like references, and I'm like, that's cool, but the hip is in the wrong place. I'm painting. It's like you know, so there, you know, I feel like that's those things. Even if you don't want to do it all the time, it can help you with your proportions too. So yeah. And when it comes to the painting process, like especially with this one here, it went through a lot of changes. Like at first I painted the whole background like these crazy colors, and then I happened to see like, there's an artist and she paints a lot of galaxy stuff, and then I noticed how she does things, and I was like, oh, it'd be so much easier if I just did that. Like, I like to work smarter, not harder. So then I just painted it all black. And then even though I had a plan to do something else, when the idea for this like was solidified, then I realized that the void it needed to be there. So like this painting here is about I guess the most simple way to explain it would be like the sacrifice of oneself to create the divine spark. You know, like so that's what they're doing. Like they're kind of like sacrificing themselves to start like the life of everything. And like and you know, like they are celestial bodies, and that's why there's like all these scurvy, you know. But yeah, so I ran along a lot.
And every time Mel would hit another mark with a painting, she would send it to me, and I'm just like, okay, that's amazing. And like, I don't even want to, I can only say like, that's amazing starts to sound like it's not as great as it is, but everything she would do would just be like, okay, I don't have words. Like when she took that one in the corner and burned it, I flipped my mind out.
This one?
Yeah.
These two got me.
Just simply by turning it,
Figuring that out.
it's so much more. And we, huge thank you in the back to Lisa.
Yeah.
For allowing us to have this kind of venue to do this and creating
It's
and being
beautiful.
so supportive of us.
Well, thank you, because I didn't see the show prior to thinking. I walked in, the show was hung. I started crying. I mean, I walked in and I looked up. I'm always depressed when shows flip that week because I missed the old show. But I'm excited about the new show, but it's not here yet. Gallery is staff. And I walked in and they had done it all, and I just started crying. It was so cool.
Well, it wouldn't have happened without you. So.
Mutual admiration society.
Nothing like it.
There's like so many weird quirks that I have that are reasons why I flip things weird ways, and like the piece in the corner. Like when he sent me that photo, I was like, it just, what I already said. The light shadow was awesome. But then I was like looking at it, and I was like, man, like her legs make a pyramid, and then so I was like, and I'm obsessed with like Egypt and things, all kinds of weird stuff. So I flipped it, and then you can see it inside the pyramid. I painted that nebula that looks like an eye to try to symbolize ancient wisdom. So that's why that painting is called Dust of the Ancients. And then if you look also, you see it on his photograph and on the painting, her legs and her arm on top kind of make an infinity symbol. So I don't know, there's a lot of, when I was painting that one, I was like, I think that might be my favorite one, just because I think it means a lot to me, that piece.
I thought about flipping it for printing it too, because of how awesome that looks. But I just wanted you to see what you saw exactly. Because it would just be like, okay, pick up your arm, pick up your leg, drop this here, drop this here, drop this here, drop this here. This model is
She's incredible.
Beast of a model, and she just everything. There's thousands of photos of her that all could have been painted, and everything looks good. But this one, and I would go through and I would send drop boxes full of photos, and then she would go through them all and say this one, this one, this one. So that had a lot to do with the process of which ones I picked out to shoot or to print. I mean.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you guys kind of the process thing. So go here now.
This is their relationship. Mel bosses Rob.
I think I boss people around.
I just watch it happen.
You guys should be able to see this without that. Or we got it just for a second. I'm going to make it a little easier. Exercise. like, so this will, for most, some of them I couldn't find, but for most of them, this will show you his photograph, the thing I created on Photoshop, along with maybe some of the photos if I can find them in there, and then the painting. So and that's what I created on Photoshop. And there's like a really weird process of making that work on Photoshop. But I've been doing that for like, I think maybe about Photoshop. I don't know, I've been playing with Photoshop since my early 20s. So here's the eye. And I put a star here, kind of like, I don't know. I have meaning behind it, but the Photoshop piece. And then
Right, now can I ask you, where do you get those images in Photoshop? Do you create them or are they?
I create them. Like it takes a long time. Because of like how I do it, like I've always used Photoshop, so I mean I don't know everything about Photoshop.
How long does it take you in Photoshop?
Sometimes I will spend all night on just one, and sometimes I'll get it done within like an hour. You know, so it just depends. So there's Ralph's piece. Oh, I don't know what one I did with Photoshop. I think I don't even, because all I did with the Photoshop is I added color, and then I added I oversaturated color.
Wait, I have a question. Ralph, how did you, on the photo of that, how did you and the models come up with that pose? Was that just her, or had you been, I mean, that's complicated.
And it was trial and error. While we were there, we were just trying different things. There was actually in the same shoot, she's shaped like a triangle where she's cutting her head out. And and while you're there, let's try this, and let's try this, and then let's try this. And I actually had her covering up, and then I saw her face through one, and I was like, wait, hold on. And that's when I do this.
Well, and I really, now that you've explained.
And I say, let's see half of you, and say, you're hiding.
Well, I think this is probably, I think, one of your best ones that you use for the shadow and the light one. So thanks for explaining that, because I knew that, all of the photographs are so interesting, but now I know it's that play of the shadow and light that's so intriguing to us. So,
Yeah, but my photo has no Photoshop. This is straight out of my camera. Exactly what it is. I just made it black and white.
Yeah.
And since once you get the light right, everything looks good. So it takes so long to get the light exactly how I want it with her, with this rim light. I've got a light on both sides of her, a bigger box on the left and a smaller box on the right side. And since we're there and it's so good, let's just play with it. Let's just tuck our head down. Let's peek around. Let's hide behind it. And I don't want to waste the energy that went into creating the lighting effect. That's why we try so many. So this was just one of the ones in a series that all was the triangle one.
There was so many. It was really hard to like go through and find out. And I feel like this painting too. I had a really big canvas and I was going to paint something else on it, and then like another piece for the show. And then I was like, you know what? No, like I need to paint this. And then.
And again, here's this same model that was in those back there.
Yeah. So I painted her 3 times. And I was going to do. I think I was going to do 2 others too. She just.
This could have been a
She's, yeah, this is a her show.
I'm just going to interrupt really quick to say that Ralph is a purist. I work with him in the magazine, and I don't even think he knows Photoshop, and that's not normal for photographers. Everything he does in front of the camera and with the camera. And it's unique right now.
And that's appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, that's very, for sure. Yeah.
And there's the piece that he posted on Instagram, and I was like, I just sent a message, send me this one.
Yeah.
Like in the comments, I always send him comments in each post, send me this. I'm hating that, send it to me. So this was the original idea I created with his image, and it was actually the other way. I had it going like the same exact orientation as his, and then one night, one of my artist friends were over, and she had a big canvas she was working on, and I had to paint the bottom part, which is now the top part. But and like I was just like, I didn't want to like sit on the ground and paint. I was kind of lazy. So we're like, let's just turn him around. So we turned him around, and then she turned her canvas around, I turned mine around, and then when I was painting it, I was like, wait a minute, like this is the way this is supposed to go. Like, and then from that change, from that like because in the beginning, like I titled that with Becoming, and then once it was like switched around, and I started working on it. Then I changed it to Emergence, and then I realized that like that one's about the growth of the soul, like in the universe. Like these, I don't know, weird things come to me.
That was another 2 a.m.
Oh yeah, that's like a 2, 3, 4 a.m. Might have a couple of mistakes. Okay, so, and then this is the image that I use along with his image. So I could find these really crazy, awesome pictures. I'm like, I don't know if that's too much, but I'm gonna try. And this one here, the interesting thing about this one is I didn't like, I worked a little bit on Photoshop, but then like, I just kind of did my own thing with it instead of creating the idea on Photoshop. Because I started to and I was like, no, I'm just gonna paint it. But that's the image of the black hole that I use for that piece. Yeah, I don't know why, but I wanted to put red in there. But that was
awesome.
yeah, and like red, black, and white. And that one is about, I titled it Singularity, and it's about the reason why the red's in there is because like love is one of the most insane gravitational forces. So like you can't, most times it's unescapable. So inescapable, I would say. It's just inescapable. Yeah, the black hole was a city. Actually, my husband was like, "You should be a black hole." And I was like, "Think a black hole." And I was like, "That sounds fun." I was like, "Why haven't I taken a black hole in the series yet?" Okay. All right. So here is this one here, and then that's the thing I did in Photoshop. You can see how like sometimes like I completely veered in a weird way, and I didn't do all the stuff I wanted, like from the image. I love the way it turned out.
Ralph, I just want to say that the pose of that is so, it's like graceful and beautiful. That's actually my favorite piece in the show, but it's just so elegant. Love that.
Yes. And the shadows and everything.
Yeah.
I remember he sent me that one, and I was just like, I'm painting this one. And then when I sent him the idea of what I was going to do, he's like, you painting it? were excited.
We had to put that one
I know, I had to put that one. But it was also amazing, so.
in. They were
I was like, I'm looking through and I'm like, okay, kind of.
Well, my wife totally forced me to do that.
And it's funny, at the show, at the opening of the show, she posed the same, almost fell. But yeah, she, oh my goodness. Yeah, but she posed, like, there's a picture of it.
Yeah.
So then there's this one, and the cool thing is, like, you know, like, he had this idea for this shoot, and then, and I was so excited that he decided to put 2 bottles in there, and just because I feel like not only is it because it's like about, it has like a very like, it's like unifying as well. And I feel like that's what I really like about, like when he sent me these pictures, there was so many he sent me like this. And I was just like, you know, like I had,
And so they were twisted.
yeah, there was just so many cool ones like that. I haven't got to paint yet, but I didn't paint yet. And then that's the thing I did on Photoshop. But then it changed. And then I decided to put this in there. I don't know why, but I really liked. I changed it up a little bit. Right. And this piece is, I like how, you know, like, the color choices, like, just came out, I kind of just did this, like, kind of like go with the flow, but like the pinks and the purples in the model on the right, and I intertwined that with the gold. And then on the left, you know, with the blues and stuff. And I felt like it was important to have those colors swirling around inside of that atomic shape thing. Such a crazy pose. Like he sent me this one, I was like, I immediately drew it up and painted it. And then that was the Photoshop. And at first, like that thing at the bottom was like pink and purple and stuff. And then I was playing around and I took all the saturation out and I was like, oh, black and white. Oops. And I really liked how that turned out. So to me, it's almost the same. It's a little bit different, but. And this is, I love this. I love this one. She's so elegant in all the
So
photographs.
yeah, the one I printed is a little different.
Yeah.
So it's, but I kind of like that because if people got, like, say the collector got that piece along with that piece, then they'll be getting like slightly different versions, and that's pretty cool. And this is the thing I created, but I felt like it just wasn't strong enough. And then one night I was playing around and started making like galaxy hair, and then it turned into this whole thing. Yeah, she's a galaxy, Alexia. She could be. And so I don't know the picture, but you'll see here, like if you look, you'll see that there's glitter all over her. She had like glitter all over her. And the cool thing is, like when I was playing with this one on Photoshop, I created this in like 10 minutes. I don't even know how I did it that fast, but I felt like the idea was, along with that, like the glitter and just the colors, because the colors were already like bluish and purplish in the photograph, so I didn't have to like do anything but add galaxy stuff in there.
That was half that
Yeah,
time.
I got so many images from that that she sent me. It's just really fun to paint. And these are just some weird images that I find, and things I used, like just lay things on top or put them on the bottom, and depending on what works and what didn't work. Alright, so let me show you guys. Okay, so show you this. like just a little bit of the creative process for the Phoenix painting. So she was holding a what do they call that, a lance? What do they call it? You know, the fencing sword thing. Okay. She was holding one of those. But there was something about her pose in this one that I really loved. And this was just a photo that I found. I got obsessed with it. So, but I really liked the twist of her torso a little bit with just like really, you know. And then I started playing around. I knew I wanted to make a phoenix, so I put all these like crazy things in there. And I realized that like that was too much. So, like, and then I just decided to go ahead and make a fire, like kind of like create it on my own without following this, because I felt like the process wasn't natural for some reason. And here's the flowers I used. And in the picture, her hair was brown, but I felt like she had to be a redhead. And with this painting, there is I probably used about 10 images. So like hands, feet, even my friend Leslie, she was a foot model for her too. I was like, can I take a picture of your feet? And she's just like, okay. I waited until she had a couple white claws, and then I'm sure that's a weird request. So, and just to kind of show you guys like some of the similarities. So here's the painting, and then here's Ralph's image, and then there's the painting again. So you can kind of see like how it lines up and what kind of stuff. Some things were a little different when sometimes when I paint, I make like things bigger or smaller, like butts. Like bigger openings. I don't know why this happens. I really like the way this one came out, like with the split, because then you can see like I followed all of her lines to a T. Like I made sure that I was trying to do that like I was. So if you guys would like, we're going to open it up for like a Q&A if you guys want to ask any questions. You know, that's cool. I'm just going to sit back here because it's more comfortable.
I don't have a question, but I'd like to applaud this whole show and both of you. As an artist, I'm often taking my own references or asking models to pose for things in weird ways, even though I change it for the painting, but I also need a reference of some sort. And it's beautiful to see both things be the art instead of just the painting. And of course, they're different, but they come together so great. You guys did a great job.
It was just going to be Mel. I was just sure.
This is cool.
And then she was like, no, we need to do a show. We need to do a show.
Yeah. Dude, this is not going to
She
be
was
just
right.
me.
And I was like, no, you just paint it. And she kind of pulled me out a lot to do it. And yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And you know, because I feel like it's true, like, because people, like, they, I don't know, like, I just felt like it was really important for people to see where any of the ideas that I was coming up with originated from. And his work is so, like I would say, it's so dynamic. It's like, it's just, I've never really known anybody, let alone seen many people that, even online or whatever, that are so good with light and shadow, you know? And just like the creativity with the poses and stuff, it's just so good.
So I feel like you both inspired Each other.
Yeah, I feel like that's true. Because like he would send me something, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna paint it.
Are you marching as well?
More white.
Yeah, I do feel like that was a huge thing. Like, I feel like we did inspire each other because after he's seen some pieces that I was working on and I was seeing the pieces that he was creating, I was like, oh my god, like this is, I was like, I can't wait to paint all these. And it's gonna, I was really excited to, like I almost wanted to like have everything covered until the opening. Luckily, like, nobody really came in, but we tried to like, we tried to kind of like keep it kind of more, so when we were hanging and stuff, we were just like, we talked about that, just kind of making it like a really big reveal. We figured we'd at least do that with like one piece.
It's like you have the relationship of a singer and a writer, where you kind of come together, make that work.
Yeah, it became obsessive. It was like, okay, we're doing this. Some of these shoots were literally just for this show. And then some of these shoots were just, like, when your client that I was working with, I was like, hey, you're doing this show. Like,
Yeah.
They asked him if they can take that. I don't know what it is. Read a joke about, do you want to take your clothes off? And I said, no, they're asking him if they can take their clothes off for these pictures. They want the beautiful pictures done. Once they've seen them, they want them.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool to see the models. Like some of the models came in and they seen the paintings for like the first time, like in person. And the one model, the one that I unveiled, the show, I seen her earlier in the show and I was like, hey, you're staying till 6, right? And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, don't leave. And she's like, okay. And but I kind of hinted to her that something over there is going to be shown and it's going to be her. And I think she's the one that made that really awesome live video of us unveiling it. So, but like just seeing them, like, it's really cool because I feel like not only does it like, like they're being painted and they're being photographed and they're being like displayed as works of art themselves. But I feel like for one of my friends who's in the show, like she did not see herself in the way that we've seen her. And I feel like it's really cool because now she's like, I never really seen myself in that way. And then I was just like, well, you should, because like you're a goddess, hello. Like look at you, you're beautiful. And I feel like for those people who were, being, put into these pieces, like I think it's just given them something like for their souls that's good. Kind of makes them feel really good. And not only that, like these pieces for the show, I said this at the opening, but when I was kind of going through my own spiritual experience, I felt like it wasn't enough for me to just have it by myself. I felt like, I paint, so maybe what I can do is I can put it into paintings. And that way, what maybe somebody needs to have their own experience, and maybe it will help them kind of like walk in that direction. Maybe it will help them like see something in themselves or about something else that they need to solve or whatever it might be. But I know it sounds weird to say like I hope these paintings like change humanity for the good, but that's kind of like my drive for like pieces and the meanings behind them. So I'm the nerd, sorry.
I'd like to say that we've never even crossed our screens in creativeness either. Like Mel's never been to a photo shoot of mine. And I've never been to her studio and watched her create these. This all happened through Dropbox. And like just texting and sending messages back and forth. Like I've always been like, Mel, you should come. And she's always wanted to. And she's always been like, you should come here and cook. We're both busy parents. But from midnight to 2 a.m., one person I can call and they know.
I'm like, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm working on.
I was up creating and listening to metal. It's like I am on the other side of town.
I am listening to the.
That's how this all kind of started. It was just like sending messages back and forth really, really late at night when everyone else was asleep.
You're always up, Ralph.
It's really cool because not only, like, I've always, like, thought Ralph was awesome, but, like, now, like...
You know it.
Well, I mean, I always joke with him, like, I always tell him he's my BFF. And I'm, like, yelling him across the parking lot, what's up, BFF? And he's like, probably what?
Color blue.
Yeah. So we, in the creative process, we also, like, grew, like, an awesome friendship, too. So it's really cool. Yeah. Any more questions? Should we do a song and dance? I'm just kidding. Ralph can though. Cool. Well, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate you guys being here and supporting us, and I don't know, just being so awesome. Because just like any other creative process, like our souls are out there in these pieces. And you guys are supporting that, and we really love that. We love y'all.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
I cannot mention Mel has offered some special pricing. So anything that you see with the red tag, that is another Ralph photo of NOMA windows. So look closely, and there's a little one now.
Yeah. So
We have the red down for you.
Yeah. So for the last. So there's a percentage off for select pieces, like to the end of the show. And you know, buy some art if y'all want.
And we have prints and Ralph, right?
Yeah, so we do have prints and stuff as well. So we have prints over in the rack over there, and we do have some like little. Like little frame pieces, but there's like the paintings on one side and then the photographs on the other side. So you can like either hang them up or put them on your desk or give them as gifts. I'm a salesperson. My husband, so I'm like,
Questions?
all right, Ralph wants to say something.
If you spend $400, which would be 2 photos or 1 painting, I'll give you a photo shoot. So I'll throw in a photo shoot because we want to clear this all out.
Yeah.
You don't have to take your clothes off.
You don't have to take your clothes off. You don't have to take your clothes off.
I mean, you can.
I have taken part of my clothes off.
Well, thank you guys so much, and we appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Yay!